Welcome to the This That Podcast, episode 128. Coming to you live, bro, from the beautiful double brick furnace. You know, it comes to summertime, it starts to become a furnace. In the wintertime, it's the freezer. As we all know, tuning in after, bro, it's been 2.5 years, you know. This September, October or something like that, we're going to hit 3 years of the This That Podcast. And, geez, I think it's got better. For sure. I don't know. You guys give me your feedback. You're the listeners. I listen to it as well. I listen to it a little bit, but after 2 or 3 hours of talk on the mic, I can't hack myself anymore. So I've got to stop moving this because those... Just 1 second, bro. It's doing my head in now. Don't do that. Don't do that, Bear. You're what? All right, that's it. We're back. Just... Yeah, I thought I gotta get this done during the week, you know, because since my daughter's gone to school now, she's in kindergarten, so I don't know what sound to put for that. Yeah, sadness. Unbelievable, bro. I cried and then I held back the tears. I was trying to be a hero. She started school on, what's today? Friday. She's done Tuesday, I think she went in for a... Tuesday. She went in Tuesday, yeah. So Tuesday was like a little half day. Wednesday was a little half day. Yesterday was a full day. And today a full day. I took her in on Tuesday. Now, a WOG event for a kid that's getting into school, it's a full WOG event. Everyone comes over. There's money being slapped left, right and centers on her forehead like she's a clarinet player at a Macedonian wedding in the 90s. She doesn't know what's going on because she doesn't realize that she's getting plunged into a school with 1,000 children now, and her mind's going to become totally corrupted by the system and all the teachers and the ideologies. But doesn't matter. I'm not being a conspiracy theory. I'm fucking scared, though. I'm very scared. At the same time, I am, you know, privy to the fact that there's no changing that unless you homeschool. I mean, if I homeschool them, she won't even know what 5 times 5 is by the time she turns 35, which is actually the answer is 25. So I should have started that again. Okay, she won't know what 5 times 5 is. Okay, fuck it. Just leave it. I got it wrong, and that's the exact example as to why she shouldn't be homeschooled by me, because I'm a distracted person that needs to create and be practical and go out there and do stuff. I can't be sitting here listening to her make a mistake and then me trying to pretend that I'm patient with her. I'm not a teacher, and God bless you teachers that are out there. Don't corrupt the students. God bless you teachers that are out there doing things to help these beautiful young kids blossom into the best versions of themselves. I take my hat off. I don't wear one, but if I had one on during tennis, I do. So I'll take it off today in ode of you. I venerate you for the dedication station that you put into the youth, which is going to be the leaders of Australia. They're the ones that are going to be caring for us when we get a hip replacement and you walk up the stairs and you die when you're 75 and brittle because you're partying every weekend at the Ivy like you had the body of a Ninja Turtle, but you didn't realize you're just a human being pouring complete petrol down your gusset every weekend and thinking that this is going to be all right, we're going to be totally fine with this, you know. So, I mean, you can hear my age talking right now, and I'm very wary of the decisions I had made in the past, you know. And do you know how I'm wary? Because I can look at my body and mind and see the things that just fall apart with age, bro. Not only are my joints going, I don't know why. The doctors and all of that have scanned every fucking joint in my body. They go, your joints are impeccable. You got strong muscle, meniscus tissues, ligaments, tendinitis, tendons, glue. Who knows what I've got in there, you know? But they reckon it's strong, but I overuse the shit, and now I get flare-ups in my joints because I overuse them. I don't stretch, and I don't strengthen very much. I just continue doing the things that I love to do because I'm an impulsive moron at times, and all I want to do is get out there and jump in and get into the things. Like I'm alive. I love that stuff. But then, you know, I need to go to the part of the forest which is darkest to you, bro. That's the advice that I get that resonates with me a lot. It's do the things that you don't want to do, things that you're afraid of. And for me, afraid of is to do the simple things like sit for half an hour like Roe Jogan and stretch. Just stretch and get into a rhythm of that. And what I found over the years of being a moron and also catastrophe and then getting more immaculate is the sitting in that uncomfortableness, and that's what opens up the doors to the more immaculate lifestyles, that becoming greater or whatever you set your mind on. You know, you gotta feel uncomfortable, bro. Uncomfort is like the king of growth. You know, everything that grows has to stretch and break and tear and repair, and it is what it is. Like discomfort is the sign that you are growing, but acceptance of the discomfort is the willing ability to grow, the willing decision to grow, in my opinion. And I don't know why I'm down here. I don't know why Vladiators has gone down this rabbit hole, but it is what it is. The opening Woggalog, you don't know where you're going to go. I don't know where I go. I don't write show notes, bro. I just jump in to this studio, pop the mic on, I check for about 25 minutes to make sure that everything's good, because the last thing I'd want is to go for an hour and a half or an hour or whatever and it didn't record. Like my Uncle Mash, when he went out to the zoo in 1997, when they bought a brand new Canon camera, he ended up going, let me take the photos everywhere. He took about 275 photos. At the end, they were like, this is so exciting. They opened the camera, there's no film in there. He took 270 photos with no film. So that's a cult classic story in my family. And they go, relax, Mash, let me check first. Don't do anything on your own accord, because he will just go off snapping, clicking. Oh, you want one with the flash? You know, we didn't have iPhones there where you can see the photo, and you take 6,000 of the same photo just so you can make sure that your smile is right and you look slimmer by standing to your side, women. But this was just taking photos, and all the people back then had bad heads, bro. We're talking about the 90s. There's bad heads everywhere, bro. Have you looked back into the 90s what a good-looking person looks like? A good-looking person back then was catastrophe now. Could you imagine back in the village days? If I take one of these Sydney Renos to the village now, and there's still, let's just transport them back, all right? You got a 2023 full Sydney Reno, lips, hips, tits done, pumped up from every angle. She's got her hair, she's got some hair off a badger or a raccoon, like glued on, and it's down to her arsehole. Now, she's got her arsehole, she's bleached it, and she's got shtickly on, everything designer head to toe. And I'll just fly her straight back to Macedonia, dude, and put her in a horse and cart. Now it's 1947, well no, actually, yeah, war's over. Let's call it 57, when my old man was born. And you go down some dusty ass road in some village 100 k's away from a major city, and there's just toothless sheep herders, cheese curders, and Bubby, like grandmothers out there, like sewing beans together and things like that. And let's just get this girl, let's just call her Violetta, Letka. Letka walks down and she's, I mean, all you're going to hear is shovels drop, bodies hit the ground, people scratching the top of their sunburnt scalps. Who is this? What is this? I mean, guys will just end up barring up just in their little Hessian pants. They have the pants that are made out of the same material that a sack was made out of. And they're not going to be able to handle that amount, that onslaught of refinement, let's just call it. They're just going to end up if they're pulling spuds out of the ground, the hole that the spud came out, something else will go in it. It's too much. It's an onslaught. So anyway, back to it. The 90s, people were more ugly than they are now. Not that the people are not ugly now. I'm talking about physically. If we have a standard of beauty, when you look at like a beautiful person, you're like, shit, so beautiful, man. Or a good looking guy, you go, fuck, that guy's good looking, man. There's a reason why they're popular. It's because there's fucking none of them around. That's why. You get a guy that's very good looking. He's getting to the top of all the pages on Insta, on TikTok, on the pages of the women. He's slaying all the women because he's just so good looking. And the majority of us, and I put myself well in the top of that. I've got a head only a mother could love. You are butt ugly, and the only thing you can do is fix up the rig. So guys are out there pushing weight when he knows he has a face like a slapped pie. You know this, like it is what it is. It's the DNA switchboard. I told you that. I'm going to say it in the new stand-up comedy, but come to the shows for that. You know, Perth's on sale now, ticketek.com, May 13th, Astor Theatre. That's a side note. The ugliness, and you can see it on the screen now, it is what it is. The big schnoz, the big forehead, the drippy chin, the drippy cheeks, subtle tit wobble on the speed humps in Westfield. Just accept that. That's the thing. You got to sit in the discomfort that you're an ugly cunt now. And girls, you are better looking than us. Forget about us blokes. We're catastrophe, most of us. But the chicks, also catastrophe. Let's be equal now, but less than us. So you got that. Something about that that you got. But you girls don't think you're that pretty, but we do. Guys, we're looking at girls who are like, so much prettier than us. Not in all countries, though. Sometimes there's a little bit less in other countries than there is in others. I'm not going to get to naming. What, you're going to try to get me on that? So if you're going to cut that, I'll never say the countries. And you'll end up just sitting here thinking that I'm prejudiced to a certain race, creed, or colour, which I'm not. So just going down the rabbit hole. Vlad is in Wonderland, bro. It is what it is. Episode 128. So I don't know how we discomfort. Yep, it's all about my daughter going to kindergarten. So go there. Now, this is, wow, really long tangent. Huge Vlad in Wonderland rabbit hole just there. Huge. Bringing it back, dude. That's like a 400 to 500 meter fucking fishing line, dude. And the great white has just taken off with it. But all of a sudden, it just come back, brick. Come back. I still got you here. So, my father-in-law, mother-in-law, mum, dad, sister, they all come over. They're slapping my daughter in the head like she's playing the clarinet, dude. She's doing solos. She's just putting on these little pair of hush puppy shoes for school. So fucking cute, dude. So cute. And her little eyebrows are up. She's always worried about something. She's got the Vlad genes, bro. She's thinking outside of the square, and she's thinking about all possible outcomes, right? Good luck to her in life, because it's not an easy way to be, you know what I mean? Thinking is a disease. Overthinking is a disease. I think Nietzsche said, or Carl Jung, or one of these guys. I'm not sure who said it. Keith Urban, John Legend, John Lennon, one of the guys, right? And she was just sitting there, and we were giving her money, and then she had to kick over a bucket of water. That's something that us wogs do. You kick a bucket, and then you jump over the bucket, and you say, fuck it, which is what my son said. Fuck it, Dad. Now he swears at everything. Fucking shit, Dad. Fucking Dad. Now, can I get demonetized on YouTube? Because I'm getting paid $1.40 per episode from YouTube. So fuck you, bear. Now, I don't usually swear, because a lot of people listen to this in the car like a therapy session with their two kids in the back. 2 or 3 kids, or single kid at the back, and their missus. The missus is shaking her head. She's looking out the window. She wants to listen to Oprah or something like that, or watch the new maths. But, I mean, if you're listening to the missus, if you're listening, this is for you too, bro. Okay? So don't try to squeeze your husband into turning on some other stuff when you've got the most immaculate strategies coming straight out of the Bang & Olufsen stereo here in the Kia Sorrento. So she got to school. I get there. Now, I know, do not trigger yourself with nothing. Do not put a Lionel Richie song with Diana Ross, My Endless Love, or do not put something from Whitney Houston on now. Do not put Boyz II Men on. If you put a Boyz II Men song on, you're finished now in front of a whole bunch of local people, which are your peers, and the parents of the peers of my daughter. They're going to see, we saw your dad, came out looking like Bon Jovi, and he was crying through the whole assembly. I mean, what type of bitch is this bloke, man? I'll be cheesy, man. Huh? Who is this bloke, man? I didn't want that kind of snickering going on, getting back to my daughter. So I put on a brave face, plus the sunnies were on, so you can't see what's going on behind here. But I didn't want to let any tears come beneath the sunny frame and down my fat cheeks. So I just clenched my teeth, and she went in, and they were like, orange, green group, okay, purple group, there's a pink group here, we got Mrs. Palace over here, and we got Mrs. Smithcote over here, and they had to run. She didn't know where she was going, so we're taking her over. Now look at my mother-in-law. And she's just bawling her eyes out. She's got big eyes. Her whole eyes look like someone flicked them. Like that. Just flicked her straight in the eyes. Like one each. Bang. Like some bully at school flicked her in the eyes. And she was just, they were red, just all veins in the auxiliaries in there. Auxiliaries? Arteries? What are those little is in the eyes? She's crying, basically. Now, I look at my mum, she's holding me, she's putting a strong face on, but I know she's going to be finished when she jumps in the car. My missus didn't cry. A little bit weird, to be honest, you know. I mean, daughter, why not cry, you know? Maybe she was doing what I was doing, but a bit weird, you know. I was a little bit disappointed that she didn't cry. Similar to when I asked her to marry me. Again, she just said, yes, and no tears. And I've spent good money on this ring. I'm not going to put the money here because it's only a fraction of what morons spend these days on a ring and just to last about 14 months in marriage. But I was like, why no tears? You know, I saved up 1.5 years for the ring. Give me a tear. Fucking pretend, at least. You know, I'd be on to you if you're pretending, but at least I'd be like effort, you know. But there was no tears, there was just happiness. Fuck. You know, I didn't get, anyway, I flagged it with her on the night, kind of bit of a downer on the mood, but we got over it, and it was the first issue in engagement. So my mum's crying, then I'm looking at my daughter and I'm taking photos of her, and she's amongst all these little munchkins, and she just turned at one point and looked at me in my direction, and I saw her through like all these parents, their bodies in their hands, and I just saw her little face, and I took that photo of her, and her eyebrows were up, and she was like help. Like that kind of a feeling, that kind of a look. And my body just went, hey. But I was like, no, Vlad, not today, okay? Not today. You're going to hold the fuck on right now, all right? Hold on, bear. You're not supposed to cry here. You're a man. Now I'm looking around. There's a lot of Aussie guys. The Aussie guys, you're not seeing any tears come out of their face. These guys are just relieved, if anything, that the little kid that's been whinging for so long has gone to school. It's like, mate, you wouldn't believe it, mate. It couldn't come quick enough, eh? Oh, they grow up too quick, but, you know, great. I get a bit of peace of mind. They love that. They drop them off at school. The guy's cheering. For me, when I got home, it was like, I don't know. I don't even want to make it morbid, but I was just staring at a wall for about 45 minutes, just going, who am I anymore? You know, who I am. I used to drop her off the daycare last week. It was the same thing, but it's not the same thing. Feels different with the school thing, because you know they're getting out there now. It's influence. It's people out there like teaching them a certain way to live and think. And as I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I am at the same time. So at the same time, I'm worried. You know, the people seem like nice, teachers seem like nice people and all of that, but I'm not going to go anymore because you end up cutting her up and end up on 60 minutes. What were you trying to say about the public system here, Vlad? Yeah, so I didn't give, like, I'm not going to say, but I didn't know who I was. And back to inside the hall. So she gets up and she walks off, and then I'm standing there, and now my mum turns to me and my mother-in-law and my wife. So there's 3 women looking at me, and they're like, are you okay? And they come and give me a hug, and I'm like, just nodding my head. And then my mother-in-law's crying more, and she goes, are you all right? Or you feel like you're crying? And I went, no. She goes, oh, you cry? I go, no. Yep. Angel Grove, I said, Toza Collect, Toys and Collectables. Angel Grove Toys and Collectables. Time for you guys to get shopping on angelgrovecollectables.com. Angelgrovecollectables.com with the discount code VLAD for 10%. Use the damn code, bro. If you're buying stuff, which you have, and emailed me, say, hey man, I've got some stuff from Angel Grove. Oh, I forgot to use the code. Don't do that. Use the code, 10%, so then Philly and the boys from Angel Grove can know that you guys are listening and supporting the supporters that support the podcast. All right, it's basically a company that gets all collectibles for 90s TV shows and nostalgia from that era, 80s, 90s, 2000s, Power Rangers and Dragon Ball, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Digimon, all of the anime franchises like Demon Slayer, One Piece, Naruto, You got Marvel and DC and UFC and wrestling and all these different collaborators. The official Bam Presto partner store, so that's the biggest manufacturer in the world, and they're the official partner over here. They do the anime stuff. Make sure you get in touch. The Vladiators get 10% off for the code VLAD in the checkout. You got a discount code VLAD, get 10% off. Gives you a bit of nice feeling supporting the people that have put this podcast to you for free. If that's not working for us, we're going to put this behind a paywall, and it's going to be Patreon, dude. So you're going to have to pay 10 to 15 bucks a month anyway. Whereas you could just do a one-off purchase every couple of years, bro, and keep this coming to you Mac every year, every week free, rather. www.angelgrovecollectables.com. Make sure you follow them on Instagram and on Facebook of the same name. Support the supporters that support the podcast. I said, Bruce, it's super convenience. The #1 Aussie snack plug, the best USA stuff that you're ever going to find online in regards to snacks, chips, drinks, lollies, chocolates, left field stuff, totally regular stuff, rare stuff, collectible stuff, all for smashing eating. He's got European stuff, Japanese, American, Australian, New Zealand, English, British. So go on to www.brucesuper.com.au, brucesuper.com.au. The code is VLAD, VLAD. You get 10% off. And the store is called Bruce Super Convenience. Bruce is a suburb in Canberra. I thought it was a person. I thought the guy that owned it, but it's Dan that runs it. And this guy gets containers worth of stuff dropped to his shop every week. He's got 17,000 followers on Instagram. He does giveaways. He does special prizes. If you order and put the code VLAD in, he'll give you 10% off, but he's going to give you a whole bunch of extra freebies on top. A couple of handfuls of free stuff that you didn't even know that you ordered, bro. He's got Smoky, Choc Banana, Euro Creme. He's got so many things from America that your head will spin when you go on. You can shop by region as well. So go and support brucesuper.com.au, which is the convenience store that is the #1 US snack food plug that goes around everywhere in Australia fast. They'll pack it, they'll send it off to you fast, and get some snacks when you're watching Netflix with the misso. All right, right. Orange Legal Group. Orange Legal Group, bro. Lawyer specialising in property law and conveyancing. I just had a Vladiator the other day take a screenshot, say, I just spoke to Kenan and the team at Orange Legal Group. I told them that I was shredded. I told them that it came off the That podcast, and they're looking after me now. So you must also follow suit. When you're purchasing any property in Victoria, you're going to need someone to look at the contracts. It's www.orangelegalgroup.com.au. Orange Legal Group. What a fantastic name. Super easy to understand and to remember, and you always remember Orange Legal Group. So that's in your psyche now. Give them a call in Victoria, 8317-1070. 8317-1070 if you're in Victoria. Email property@orangelegalgroup.com.au. Now it's a one-stop shop, just to let you know. So it's conveyancing for property purchases. They've got a chartered accountant for all of your accounting work, and there's a full on-site mortgage broker that will do the loans for you, competitive as a mother effer. He will go around to all the banks, make sure that everything is of the best rate that you can get, okay? Free contract reviews for buyers before signing a contract. That's a wrap for the Vladiators. So email your contract, property@orangelegalgroup.com.au. Say, hey man, I want to have a look at 123 Carlton Parade, Carlton. And then you go, by the way, P.S., I got you off the That podcast. Love the That podcast. Fiend for the That podcast. Thrive for the That podcast. And you have been devout members supporting them. So I want to come to you, and he'll do a free contract review. Well, the team will there anyway. So look through it, no cost to you whatsoever. Free assessment of a financial situation to determine borrowing power. An accountant can do the wrapping. All right, so www.orangelegalgroup.com.au. Support the supporters that support the podcast. I got a new book. I found a new book. I don't know what it's called. Beginning with I. Stuart K. Robinson, The New Rules of Thinking and the Simple Secrets. And I was just reading a little bit in between takes here, but I liked what they were saying here. At the end of every chapter, he's put just a quote from some hero of the past, bro. And I'm going to read out a couple because I thought some of these were actually mad. Mistakes are the portals of discovery. James Joyce. Don't know who that is, but my cleaner's called Joyce. Joint undertakings stand a better chance when they benefit both sides. That's good, you know. Joint undertakings stand a better. So when you're working two together that benefit each other, it's better. It's a better chance. The truth of the matter is that you always know the right thing to do. The hard part is doing it. Very true, bro. That is true. Or if you've got insight, Norman Schwarzkopf, I think he was a warmonger, wasn't he? Or some guy that led the American army into war. Norman Schwarzkopf? I don't know. He used to do his bed in the morning, that's for sure. The real voyage of discovery exists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. Oh, getting a little bit smug there with the word selection. The real voyage of discovery exists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. Tell that to Captain Cook, bro. Right now, I'd be herding goats. Do not look backward in anger. Don't look back in anger. Noel Gallagher said that, and then he told his brother to fuck off and never spoke to him again. Do not look backward in anger or forward in fear, but around in awareness. All right, James Thurber. What else we got here? This seems like a good book, bro. I like a little self-help book. Keeps you on the right track, dude. You can always get to the point in your life where you go, you know what, I've done enough, I'm good enough. I'm just going to keep going at the way that I'm going, but you will plateau, you'll level out, you'll grow tits. I've had these experiences during the COVID time. I'm doing an Ironman, I'm doing this, that, and the third, and then you might I started smoking durries again during the COVID. Like I quit smoking years ago, and then during COVID, I had some terrible arguments with my missus, Proprietary Limited, and instead of me just working on myself, I ended up just going and smoking my lungs out. So I was like, that wasn't good, you know. Podcast started during then, so that was good. There's only one corner of the universe you can be certain of improving, and that's one's own self. Aldous Huxley. That's a cool name, Huxley, bro. I like it. Yeah, you, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. The Buddha. I don't know if Buddha was one person or was it like the king, and then there's just plenty of Buddhas that have come a long way, but I know some people have said, you know, believe there's multiple Buddhas or something like that. One person with a belief is equal to the force of 99 who only have interest. There you go. I mean, hedonism is not the way, even though it's very easy to fall into hedonism. And if it wasn't for, you know, that podcast and doing what I'm doing now in the background, I mean, hedonism does play a huge role in many people's lives. I mean, going to the pub and drinking 6 beers every day after work, that's a hedonistic pleasure. It's not necessary. We can all do so much more if we just decide to just do so much more. That's what it is. But again, like the opening Woggalog, I told you that discomfort, you got to be willing to sit in the fire, bro. Sit in the fire on purpose. I've been doing cold showers the last week. It's uncomfortable. Lucky the weather is warm outside, but I'll wake up in the morning and I'll just go, you know what, one bit of, you're not getting the privilege of warm water today, of hot water today. You get up, you brush, you floss, or floss then brush, and then you jump into the shower. And my showers are 3 minutes now. Instead of 15 minutes, it's 3. Straight in, ice cold water, or as cold as it gets, no warm, and just I stand in that shit and I shiver for I breathe heavily for about a minute, and then I get used to it. And by the 3rd or 4th minute mark, I'm like, yeah, that was all right, and I feel good. But it's a good way to kick the day off. Eat that frog is what Brian Tracy says. Do the hard shit in the morning. Human beings, by changing the inner attitudes of their minds, can change the outer aspects of their lives. William James, that's a very practical point. Again, look inside. Don't try to blame everyone, bro. There's going to be a cracker one coming up, I know. If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. Oh, coming out with a smugness, dude. Smart ass. That's the 14th Dalai Lama. An animal with a long neck, but great fur for the winter. To become different from what we are, we must have some awareness of what we are. Again, with the smart assness by the Dalai Lama. But it's true. You know, here's the daily llama, but I'm the weekly alpaca. There's only one corner of the universe you can be certain of improving, and let me guess, that's oneself. I think I read that before. It's all just ugly. All right, men's natures are alike. Men means women as well. Okay, and there's only two, but if you want, you can be both. Men's natures are alike. It is their habits that separate them. I like that one. All right, give that a round of applause. Habits, bro. This is a tough one for these days. This is a huge one for these. If we say it like this, I'll get cancelled. We must have strong minds ready to accept the facts as they are. Oh, you're gone, Vlad. You are finished, bro. What are you going to do? Tell people the truth? You can't. You know what I was saying to my mate yesterday is like everything can be justified. Like it is, that's what it is. It's, you can justify 6 schooners of, I'm off alcohol again, by the way. You can justify 6 schooners of beer a day. You can justify headbutting your kids. You can justify robbing a bank. You can justify living in an atheistic world. You can justify a God world. You can justify everything. Robbery, crime, lying, stealing, cheating. And you can justify the opposites of those. The good, the help, the nobility, the morality. You can justify pretty much everything. You can justify mediocrity, boringness, why you didn't change career, why you're doing the same shit that you despise, why you're with the same person that you can't get along. Like you can justify everything, bro. But in the end, it's it all comes down to yourself, you know. And on that point, let's do some questions for Vlad. We're going to keep this short. This episode's going to go an hour. I was thinking to myself, I'm punching it. I'm giving you guys so much material every week. Your heads are spinning. It's like I'm giving an hour and a half, an hour 15, an hour 20. And then I'm looking at all these other podcasts. They're doing an hour. And it's like, why am I doing an hour and a half? And I need you guys to be hitting me up on the Patreon. That's a long time, bro. An hour, tight 60, that's gone. All right, what have we got here? Yeah, taking some from the other day. All right. Domster goes, do you think 2023 will have more Sydney renovations going on? Yeah, for sure, bro. The Sydney Renos, that's a pandemic in itself. It's an epidemic in itself, for sure. Like, to think to myself, like back in the day, I remember Pamela Anderson. Now, Pamela Anderson, she's the reason why gazillions of potential children have been flushed down the toilet in a Kleenex tissue by half of the men's Western population, the Western world population. I mean, she was a little machine in the 90s. She had fakies, so she came out with the fakies. I think they're fakies. I'm sure she wasn't, blessed with such perfectly round and, how do we say, elevated bosoms, and that's politically correct. So if you're going to cut that, and then she also had, she was the first with the white nail polish. Pammy Andy, she was a front runner. She was a leader in the Sydney Reno back in the day. She had the hair blow drying at every given moment. You could wake up out of bed and her hair looked like Jennifer Aniston in Friends. She had the fakies. She had the white nail polish. She had the pumped up lips. But there was just a little, like just 5, 6, 7 injections in there by a delicate Jewish doctor on the strip in Sunset Boulevard, just putting it in there. It wasn't, a fat Armenian woman in Bankstown injecting you until your lips look like you've had 15 hornets sting you for trying to take their honey, And I'm not sure if hornets make honey, whatever you try to take off a hornet, a nest or a child or something like that. They just and they're going to sting you, and then you come out, hello, how are you? Wow, you're looking good, babe. You're looking, oh, wow. It's just porn has ruined everyone, bro. That's just what it is. Let's be honest, bro. The internet came out in the 90s. The first thing that people were looking at was boxes, right? That's what they wanted to look at, because before that, we were hiding in the bushes, looking at a Penthouse magazine, 6 adolescent children, men, guys in year 10, all with boners in a pair of khaki school pants. All of us, just looking at, if you're going to cut that, I'm talking about my experience with other men in the bushes, not gay, but looking at a Penthouse magazine with naked women in there, all right? So if you're going to cut that, it's my experience. I'm not talking about other kids. Don't try to fucking rope me into this mental world that people are trying to construct. I'm not part of it, okay? Bitch kati materin. So sitting there looking at that, but then when the internet came out, so we're not meeting at the park anymore. Everyone's drained Everyone's at home on a huge IBM computer, can't zoom, looking at a pixelated picture of Jenna Jameson, while their parents are out there slogging their hearts out trying to make a living in the 90s to pay off a $300,000 house now. I can't even get a single garage for that much now. But it is what it is, right? So porn has ruined the Sydney Renos. It's like guys love it as well. Like when I see these blokes that have got Sydney Reno misses, I'm talking about extreme Sydney Renos, they are also Sydney Reno'd out. They're roided up. Of course, they're not going to just go and have a banana milkshake and a fucking protein bar and go do squats. They're roided up too. And then they're pulling up in a leased car and the missus jumps out. She's got 3 asses. She's walking around, white nail polish, lips are done, but he's like, I like it, baby, when they're bigger. I like it when they're huge. She doesn't know what he's looking at on his iPhone 15 Pro Max Plus when she goes to work. You know what I mean? He's trying to live that life in the bedroom as well. And I'm not saying everyone, but I'm saying that is definitely a general motivator right there. Because it's not like guys are loving to see that kind of renovation go on and go to a book club together. That renovation goes on and we're ripping the sheets back, right? That's the whole point of it. Yes or yes. Say I'm wrong, bro. Say I'm wrong. Say I like my missus to get totally pumped up, out of proportion, tits, hips, lips, everything like that, because I think she's just better at a tennis player at that. You know, when we go to our weekly council meetings, when we're working at the parks in the area and trying to get new swing sets that aren't dangerous for the kids, what I like to see is a nipple nearly pop out of the top of an Ect jacket or a shirt. That's what I like, you know what I mean? I like the G-string to be coming outside of their pants at the back, because that, I feel, it has more pull with the people when it comes to the votes at the end of the week, whether we're putting a new swing set in down at Manaville Park. But, you know, that's I think it's just going to get worse. But it's a phase, bro. And that's what I reckon. Like everything in life is a phase, you know. We do it. We destroy ourselves. We learn from it. Some people continue destroying. And people that are a little bit maybe learn, right? Let's just say that. I'm not going to go into dividing people up into any other classes. It's just some people learn, some don't. And people will go, that's not working for us. Like today I read, and I'm mortified, and it hurts my heart, that there's been a study of 6,000 children or something, and that's a decent amount of kids, and 57% or something silly like that all said that their parents spend too much time on their phone. And let me have a look now. And this is all coming back to your question, Domster, about Sydney Renos, because the Sydney Reno also, you can see they're quite self-indulgent, all right? And that could be just spending time on the phone. I'm part of it, bro. I get it. I know what it's like. So I'm just trying to learn to be slightly better than I was yesterday. 54% of children felt their parents checked their devices too often. 32% of kids felt unimportant when parents get distracted by their phones. Still a lot. 32% out of 32 out of 100 kids feel like shit. That shouldn't feel, that's not right. Like, I mean, you can't bow at your kids' feet. I said that to my missus. I go, you can't, they're not the kings of the world, you know. We're going to create a spoiled little brat that's going to think that every word out of her mouth must require a beckoning response. But I tell her at the same time, the other way is not good too. So totally avoiding is catastrophe. And also just too much, oh my God, what did you do? You spilt the cornflakes all over the floor. You're a little angel. No, it's like we've got to at least draw the line down the gut somewhere. 52% of parents agreed that they check their devices too often. I'm part of them, hands up, I'm part of you. 28% of parents felt their device use did not set a good example. Again, 28%, that's not a small amount, bro. That's 3 out of 10 people. They know that they're wasting their lives. And 28% of parents want their child to use their device less. I mean, you lead by example, bro. I smoke cigarettes because my dad smoked, my mum smoked, my uncle smoked, all my uncles smoked, my cousins smoked. I smoke cigarettes. I was part of the mongoloids that didn't realize that, hey, bro, this is going to kill you or slow you down or give you an addiction for life this is like the Sydney Reno. Like, it's vanity, bro. It is. You know, we like to look good. You know, I like to look good. I want to dress well, look good, feel good. That's all the same thing. But then again, it spirals. It's like the bodybuilding. You start, you see, do the forearm curls, and then you end up having your mate Fat Jim sit on your hands so you can do a forearm curls because you did 4 cycles of testosterone this week and you feel like you can lift up a double-story house. It just gets worse and worse and worse. You get out of control. You run 5K, do you want to run 50? You want to run 100? It's human progress. That's what it is. But then down the line, as things go, they go, everyone that's got arthritis, it's because of overrunning. So then we knock it back. And then there's smarter people than us that actually study it. And they go, you know what you don't want to do? You don't want to run 50 Ks at a time, man. If you want to walk after the age of 50 without help, or cortisone into your knees every second week. So you learn off that shit. So the answer to the question of, do you think there's going to be more Sydney Renos? Yes. And they get younger and they get more ludicrous. That's what it is. And society just spins itself out. And there's victims. It has to be. It has to be, bro. You know? What happened in the 70s? How many car crashes was there? How many people were dying from car crashes? People didn't have seatbelts. Then they put seatbelts on and it got safer. And now people are going, you shouldn't have this much safety because people don't have responsibility. And they've got a point. But, you know, if one of your children was in a bad accident, you'd be going, why wasn't there seatbelts? So it all comes back to I, bro. It's like this book, bro. It all begins with I. There's that book. It's on the screen now. It all begins by I. If you want to get it, Stuart K. Robinson, it's probably got some very practical stuff. Why is it practical? Because you don't need anyone to help you with it when it's just you. All right, that's the answer, bro. Cheers. Wrap. I need a coffee and I want a good tea, bro. I need a coffee. Give it a ODYSSEY. Odyssey, bro. Odyssey Coffee, the brainchild of Maddie and Jim, bro. Down from the Mornington Peninsula out into Melbourne. Please order your coffee straight from these guys. Most beautiful coffee, consistent coffee. Crema on top, fantastic. The long blacks that I've been smashing, these things are worth everything, bro. They give you the energy to come out here and muster out the best opening woggalog your head will spin. Reimagined from the grounds up, brother. I've said this a million times. If you go to their website and go to Odyssey Coffee, ODYSSEY, coffee.com.au and type in Vlad, you're going to get a discount, or you go and email them, admin@odysseycoffee.com.au. You got to just try it, at least try it, bro. Wholesale and domestic is available, so you can order for your office, or you can order for your house, or you can order for your business. If you've got a new cafe starting, or you're opening up a little cafe in a shop that might be selling clothes or bikes or scooters and shit, then you got to go with Odyssey Coffee, bro. Make sure that you get in touch because they will do a stitch for you. Email them, admin@odysseycoffee.com.au. They might even give you some stuff to try it out if you're a coffee that's looking for a roaster that's going to be consistent for you guys. Definitely, highly recommended. The missus loves it. I love it. ODYSSEY, coffee.com.au. They have mad hot chocolate. Get the hot chocolate when you order the coffee bags. They can grind it, or you can have the full beans. Do it at home, bro. Make sure you mention Vlad to them, please. VLAD, you know the name. Vlad, short for Vladika. Rap. Metropolitan Stone, the best kitchens in the world, the best cabinet makers and all of that shit for cupboards and shit. Yeah. Fuck. Metropolitan Stone, bro. Matthew Friedis down in Victoria can do anything for you guys in regards to cabinet making. 0425 797 488, 0425 797 488. The email is matthew@metropolitanstone.com.au. metropolitanstone.com.au is the website. So they do all cabinetry, cabinet making stuff, benchtop changeovers if you want to renovate an old kitchen, brand new kitchens, kitchen facilities, new benches, islands, television television units and laundries and bathroom cabinets and built-in wardrobes and pantries and fucking, what are those other things called? Linen presses, where you just put the towels that you got for your wedding and you never change it for 10 or 15 years because they get better when you wash them and they get drier and shit like that. No one wants a fucking wet towel, a brand new towel that's too soft that doesn't dry them. So you go to metropolitanstone.com.au. You must mention Vlad to him on the email, which is matthew@metropolitanstone.com.au, or just buzz him and mention Vlad. 0425 797 488. 0425 797 488. Cabinet making legendary business from Victoria, can do all of Victoria, all of Melbourne, all the distant, the rurals, whatever. Get in touch with Metropolitan Stone and support the supporters that support this podcast. If you've got a business, please just keep it safe. You keep the Chinese surveillance balloons away. You need virtuosas. Keep those Chinese surveillance balloons away from your business, bro, by having a great cybersecurity IT company by the name of VIRTUOSYS, virtuosys.com.au, virtuosys, virtuosys.com.au. Follow their social media pages. What they are is a cybersecurity online IT company that looks after all of your business IT. Okay, so no matter what size business you are, VIRTUOSYS is the company for you, Australia-wide. Okay, mission is to empower the staff safely to work anywhere and for you to be able to monitor staff and all of that stuff. No spyware, all right, so you can't see what they're doing behind the screen, but whatever, you can tailor it to exactly what you need for your business. So it's not one size fits all. They'll tailor it to the size of your business, small, medium, large, whatever. Whether you want a company to monitor just your cybersecurity, which is good, making sure that everything that you're doing is safe, and your backups. That's major important thing here. You know, make sure you back it up and you know where it is and how to have multiple backups. VIRTUOSYS is the company to do all of this. Email disdat, D-I-S-D-A-T, @virtuosys.com.au. Email is virtuosys.com.au. Dan and the boys are ready to help you wrap, stitch and plug. Support the supporters that support the podcast. All right, so I got an email from someone. I'm not going to say their name. Female. He said, Vlad, can you please advise if it's possible to find a decent man in today's day and age? It's day and age, sweetie, I reckon. Decent man in today's day and age without getting to Sydney Reno. Oh, there you go, bro. There you go. Or do women today need the renovation? ? Thank you. P.S. I need to email you now as you have motivated me to get rid of Catastrofa social media. Round of applause for you, bro. Round of applause. You're a stronger person than me. I'm going to get to a point, where I just snap this on. It's going to be like alcohol, bro. I'm just going to go on an abstinent period for some time until I get my stuff together, because it is an addiction, bro. It's in your hand, and I'm looking at it for no reason. I'll post something, Rojogan goes post and ghost. I haven't got to the point yet where I'm posting and ghosting. I need to post and ghost. Like, I put a video up now, dim chest PTSD, true story about Tinder. It's just... put it on, bro, and check tomorrow what you've got on in life and have a look now. But again, it's just habits, bro. Habits doth maketh the man. So now, is it possible to find, all right, it's a question for Vlad. Here we go. Can you please advise if it's possible to find a decent man in today's day and age without getting to Sydney Reno, or do women have to do? The answer to that question is yes, you can, and definitely there are decent guys out there that want the same thing, bro. They don't want the full reno. You might do an addition. You might just do the balcony. You might just do the lips. You might not have to extend the whole house out the back and do your ass or your hips or whatever, So it's just, yes, the answer is yes. I reckon I have no experience because I've been with my missus for 17 years, which is a long time, and thank God for that. It is tough. I would freak out, bro. Being on the market these days, I wouldn't even go on the market. I'd leave it total to fate and destiny and just continue doing what I want to do in my life. Whatever that may be at that point in my life, if I ever had that experience, I would just go forward with momentum into what I love. And I think that's probably mad advice, bro, for anyone that's out there that might be a little bit lost in love or lost out of love, or whatever you want to call it. I think that's not a bad opinion. Let's just say career is always the easiest thing to do, but career is not necessarily a place where you're going to find love. You could find friendship and you might find love. I don't know, bro, how God works in mysterious ways, right? So I think it's that, but the ability to let go and not search and grasp and clutch, as Bruce Lee, or I don't know who said it, but maybe his brother or something like that. Don't clutch the water. If you're trying to ladle water out of the water, you can't grip the water because it runs, right? So it's that flow state. You got to get into that flow state. I know when I had my first misses, I was not in a flow state. It was all force. So there was a lot of forcing going on, and that just didn't work. Like, I ended up, the way I got in, the way I got out, by force, and it wasn't good. But I was trying to control the outcome of, I was trying to control her, right? So, because I liked her a lot, and I couldn't possibly live without her. So I was grasping and clutching and gripping and trying to control, making sure she likes me, making sure she's loyal, making sure she's devoted, all of that stuff. In subtle ways. I'm not walking up to her and going, "You better fucking love me, man. You don't know what I'll do if you don't love me." I wasn't doing any of that. But it comes out. It comes out in the way you act, bro. Even more in the way you react. There's a lot of telltale signs in the way you react, bro. If someone says something to you that touches a nerve, you react differently, right? Have you ever said that? Like, if you've never stolen anything and someone goes, "Bro, you've been robbing your whole life," inside you almost laugh, like, what a moron this guy is, or girl. You're just like, what? Robbing what, bro? You're almost confused, But if you are a thief by nature, or a bullshit artist, or a liar, and someone goes, "You're a liar, bro, you're a thief," I'm just using this as an example. You will get on the back foot and you're ready to go. It's like you've got to be a complete psychopath to let that brush over. Like, you're a sociopath at that point, where that doesn't affect you because you have no self-awareness and you justified all your behaviour, right? Yes or yes? So I reckon for the girl that I married and ended up having children with, I was more in a flow. I did like her and all of that stuff, and I tried my best to get her, and it took ages, and I chased and chased and chased, but I wasn't trying to angle anything. I was in a really good place at that point. I started playing in a band, I started writing, hair was flickering, I was surfing a lot, I was tanned beyond belief, had a Monaro. I was still going out and partying, but I wasn't being a catastrophe. Like, I had some more flaws after I started dating her, and she helped me bring myself back to the center, because if you leave a man sometimes to his own devices, he could just destroy things. We're just tilted that way a little bit. Some of us, not all of us, but I am. So I think if you just, I'm not going to say a name, but it starts with A, if you just get into that flow and just start enjoying yourself, don't be too self-righteous either, because they're never going to be the perfect person. You're going to end up with a poodle of some sort walking around Bondi Beach until you're 70. You can't do that. It's like, the person's not going to be perfect. You're not perfect, even if your lips are. But it's just, you got to go, just flow it out, man. And I reckon if you just do shit you love, find things that mean a lot to you, help, contribute, I don't know what else to tell you, the right person will come together, man. And it could be the one you least expect and the one that you're not looking for, and it'll happen. But I think it's that, having that faith of letting go. I'm giving myself advice here as well, There's other things in my life currently that I'm trying to position, but that don't work. And every time that I have that attempt, I go to myself, "Wake up to yourself, Vlad, no one gives a fuck, bear." And that little slap in my ego is a good thing, And the more I'm flowy, the more I'm going, and I'm just enjoying and being and creating and all of that shit, the better things that the dominoes fall in place, or the cards fall in place, the chalk, what falls in place? The chips fall in place? I don't know the saying the English people made up, but I like it. Something falls in place. The cards fall, I don't know, something falls in place. That might be good advice, it might not be, bro. I mean, try it. Give yourself 30 days money back guarantee right here on the DSTAT podcast. Thanks for the question, Rap.
Listen to this.
Got fake hair, you got fake ass, you got fake everything on your body, but you want a real
N-word.
Like, I worked hard for these results. I suffered. I went through the fire. Adversity builds character. I went through the fire for this. You got fake eyelashes.
There you go. This guy's name is Kevin Gates. I don't know, some rapper. He's got several face tats. But what he said was right, bro. You know, you gotta, that builds character, all of that crap that a lot of these people go through, bro. Another question. All right. What do we have here? Why doesn't anyone want to do their jobs anymore? Our children's generation is screwed. I talked about these heaps last year, bro. Like, I was thinking about, you know, whether it was COVID that's either spoiled us, or was it COVID that made us more clearer in whether we wanted to be doing the things that we wanted to do because we had that opportunity to take the foot off the pedal. And I think it's that, bro. I think it's not that it spoiled us. I think it gave us clarity, bro. I'm an optimist in this regard because COVID helped me take a leap from being a full-time real estate catastrophe to an Immaculate agent, and I'm happy with that. If it wasn't for COVID, yeah, maybe I've taken the leap. I took the leap during COVID after my show sold out, my opening show sold out in a week, you know. In Melbourne, they sold out in 24 hours, which was phenomenal. Shout out to Paris and the boys in Melbourne for helping me get my first 2 of 5 sold out nights at the Lithuanian Club, which is a 300-seater. That's pretty good. We outdid that by doing the Athenaeum Theatre last year, which was a 1,000-seater. That's pretty good. I reckon I could have done another show there, but I ended up doing it down at the Comedy Club, the Comedy Lounge, which is 500-seater. So that last year was a good thing. But on that point, why doesn't anyone want to do their jobs? Look, bro, there's so many things. It's just COVID really it disrupted the flow of society at an ungodly pace. Like, you had 2020 hugely disrupted. 2021, we pretty much didn't work at all. We were sitting at home getting paid full wages, and we got used to that. Like Tim Dillon said, we just love to barbecue and get drunk in our backyards, and there is some truth to that. You know, we live in a country of 25 million people. There's not that much competition, bro. Like, if in America there's 300 million people packed into the same amount of land that we've got, their land is much more naturally abundant than ours. But whatever, like, we haven't got we like the leisurely side of life over here, but it's going to come at a dramatic cost to our children and to us, especially us. We're not old yet. We're still youngish. Well, I am. Anyway, I don't know, but you listeners, you're probably old farts, but I would say, you know, it's going to come, bro. Like, what are you going to do? You can't go to the airport and get your shit cancelled when you're trying to go to Brisbane, or when you're coming back from LA, it stops in Sydney, it does a U-turn, goes back to Brisbane, and they can't give you water. You're parched. It's a massive inconvenience. I remember I had to drive down to Melbourne. It was me and my missus. We did the biggest missions. We turned up. She goes, yeah, here comes your flight on the 3rd of July. I go, no. Today's the 2nd. She goes, that's right. Your flight's tomorrow. I go, no, it's not. 10 a.m. now. She goes, yeah, well, sorry, man. We've had to delay it, man. Sorry. I go, I've got a show tonight. You know, there's a lot of people there. Who are you? I go, I'm Vlad. She goes, oh, yeah. Sorry, man. Can't take you. Oh, there's a Qantas flight, actually, at 6 p.m. Who knows whether that'll take off or not, but that's $1,200 each, man. Sorry, man. And that's one way. I was like, mutt it in, bro. I'm going to drive. I'm going to take the responsibility like Mad Max. I jumped in a car with my missus. She gave me a high five. She goes, fucking do it, bro. I thought we were going to do the biggest pounding sessions on the way there, get all excited. We're 30 minutes into the trip with the hugest argument. I said to her, can I drop you off at like Wollongong or Canberra? I'm trying to get in the zone. I've got 10 hours, 11 hours of driving, and then I've got to get on stage and make people lose it. You know, we did them both successfully, let's be honest. And the freshing happened. The next morning, I got a migraine headache after that. Okay, there's a different issue. Why won't people do their jobs, bro? I've said it before. Disinterested, they don't need it. There's like a looming kind of feeling of hopelessness from everyone. We were all lost. There's miscommunication. There's disinformation. There was a divide culturally. There's a divide, vaccine versus non-vaccine, familial divide. There was an enormous disruption. Then now we've got the huge inflation station where people are just buying stuff they cannot afford, but they can't at least once pretend to be what they are, which is poor. Like, just be poor, bro. You don't need a Louis Vuitton beach towel. Just leave it. No one cares. No one likes you. Just go to the beach with the shitbox towel from Chemist Warehouse, and then you lay on it and you go home, but we can't do it. We need Uber Eats. No one can make a cheese and tomato sandwich anymore. Oh, what did you want? A new car? Did you? Oh, yeah, babe, I've got to get a new car. I was just thinking about the brand new Lamborghini four-wheel drive. The Lamborghini four-wheel drive, it's 580 grand. Yeah, I deserve it. Oh, you know, spiral and devolve into insanity, and that's what it is, bro. You can say what you like about the podcast, but take your glasses off and have a look around. If you're in I don't know what Melbourne's like, but Sydney, you know, up and down, we're in this kind of consumerism state. But I like Melbourne a lot because these guys are having a cheese and tomato sandwich, and they love going to have 15 cups of coffee a day and just chilling out, enjoying the cultures, the wogisms. These guys are sipping soups in laneways. They're going to see some burek. They'll sit on a crate and have burek and durries. That's mad, bro. I'm down for that too, you know. I'm down. Without the durries, I quit now, again. Thank God, second time lucky. But it's just that. You know, people changed a lot of careers during this time. It was a little moment of reset, and we've got to look at it as a positive thing. If you realised to yourself that you hated what you were doing during COVID, that's good. Change it, because no one wants to be half in, half out into something. You want to do it properly, you know. Just go in to the fray, going into the fire all the way. I had a tennis coach this morning. The guy goes to me, "You're doing all right. Like your hits are good, bro. You're not bad technique. But when you're going for your forehand, even though you're like ripping it over the net and it looks good, you keep falling away from the ball. You're falling back." And he goes, "I don't know if you're doing that for stees." I instantly admitted, yes, I was for stees, because I'm looking at Federer style. He goes, "Federer doesn't do that. If you get Federer on his back foot, he'll do that. If you get jockeys on his back foot, he'll do that. But not if he's got an option. If he's got an option, he's going forward into the shot. He's leaning in and following through with the shot in the same direction that the racket head goes. Not the racket head goes here and the body goes back there." That, he goes, "You're half there, you're half here." He goes, "You're not good at any. You're going to make mistakes, you're going to lean back, you're going to hit far, you're going to hit deep, you'll hit the net. You won't get the power that you need. The power is what you need." He goes, once you come into the shot, commit fully." And he used this analogy, which was really good. He goes, "You got to fall in love." He goes, "What's the point in life when he goes, what does it mean, falling in love?" And I was like, I don't know. He goes, "The word fall is you fall, which means you commit forward. When you lean, you commit forward and you fall." And he goes, you don't stand still, you don't stand in love, you fall into love. So that was a good analogy from this guy. I mean, I would have asked him to at least floss and brush before the appointment. It looked like he was eating custard tarts all morning, but this is what you get when you're like a rat, a tennis rat. Again, that's what I love about him, bro. Like I had another coach who was very similar, who rocked up like in I don't know, if a Suzuki Swift or something like that. He would turn up, came out with a polo shirt that was ripped at the back. Doesn't matter though. I don't want a guy to come out looking like Djokovic as my coach. If he's got any experience, all right, if he's young and still on the market trying to go left with girls. But if he's like an older guy, you want him to be beaten up by the sun, crusty. He's got several tennis elbow injuries. He's there, shit shoes that have been worn out, but he knows what's going on and he fully committed. to this job, and he's never going to be a pro, and that's fine. Like, he had moments where he could have been a pro, but he wasn't. He didn't end up making it. But do you know what he did? He just went all the way into the training thing, and he became a tennis rat. And that's mad to become a tennis rat. I like that, you know, because there's a lot of merit in doing something all the way like that. You pick up through all of the disappointments of not going to the top of something, but then ended up teaching it or whatever. This is one example of leaning into something you love. There's a lot of benefit in that, bro, because you're like an old book, bro. That's just like an old recording machine that's just recorded everything in there. You're spilling it out, and just the right person, the right time, can take that and make it something phenomenal, you know. So, you know, I don't know what the fuck I'm on about, bro. But I think that makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's probably why, and that's what's going to happen, bro. People are going to change and chop and shift, and what are we going to do, bro? Just going to do what we love, bro. Keep hustling. All right. I love you. I got to leave you out. Right.
Every day I'm hustling. 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 Every day